All right, so our app is up and running. Let's go ahead and open up MySQL Workbench. And what I'd like to do is open up an SQL script. I just want to reset my database just so we have just a good steady state to work from. I'll move into this dev Spring Boot directory. I'll move into the 04 Spring Boot REST crud. And then I'll move into the Spring Boot employee SQL script directory. And I'll grab that file employee directory.sql. And again, the reason I'm doing this here is I simply want to just refresh my database so I know exactly what I'm starting with. Because in the previous videos, we did some add updates and all this other stuff. Here, just kind of keep it simple. So I hit the yellow lightning bolt to execute that script. Over on the left-hand side, simply do a refresh. Now I can get a list of data from my employee table. And notice here for employee ID number 5, we have Juan Vega. His email address is juan@lovetocode.com. Now let's go ahead and swing over to Postman. And we'll send over a new patch request. So we'll choose patch from the drop-down list. And then for our URL, we'll do localhost 8080/API/employee. So you can kind of grab one of your existing ones there. And we're simply just going to use ID number 5. So we're appending the employee ID as a path variable. And params okay, authorization's okay. Over to body, be sure to choose raw. And then for the text, make sure it's JSON. All right, so these two items are very important. Make sure your body is raw and then JSON as far as the actual content type. And now I'll simply just set up a basic JSON here. I'm going to do a partial update on just the email address. So the actual field name is email. And the actual value, you can give any value here, but I'll just say vega.juan@demo.com. Just something different, something unique, so I know it really is updating that given email address. Okay, that's the JSON here for our patch. We're going to use this for applying a partial update. I'll zoom out for a bit and I'll go ahead and send it. And then notice the response here at the bottom. We have email based on the email that we chose. And also we have all of our other fields that are still intact. So notice here, the partial update works correctly. I love it. But now let's go ahead and verify this in a database just to make sure it really did apply this to the database. So now I'm back over in MySQL Workbench, and right now we see our old data. And we can simply refresh that by hitting the yellow lightning bolt or just doing a refresh here. And success. So that's our new data. So we actually have that new email address doing that partial update. So this works out really well. And now what I'd like to do is kind of have some fun here. And I like to break it on purpose. I'd like to try and send the ID in the request body of the JSON payload because our code should throw an exception since we don't allow the ID in the request body JSON payload. So let's kind of test this out. I'll just zoom in here and I'll add the ID and give the value of 2, just making something up, and a comma. And now let's go ahead and do a send. And boom, it blows up. But this is actually good, right? We wanted to break it on purpose. We wanted to get this internal server error. We see the exception here, employee ID not allowed in the request body. So this is great. So our code is actually checking for that, coming in that request body, throwing that exception accordingly. So I like it. Now let's kind of go ahead and fix it, remove that ID, and let's just run it again. So for that ID of 2, let's remove it out of the request body and then hit send. And then excellent. So everything works as desired. So we just did a quick check there just to make sure that our code was really checking for that ID in the request body or that JSON payload. So this all looks really good. I like to say, good job, my friend.